Hi, my name's Yoselin, and this is how I turned my situation around for my family of six. My parents are not from here, so it was a little hard for them, to find work and stuff like that to provide for us, but they always managed a way. I really didn't have a real strong relationship with them just because they would always be at work. I think that's why I acted up a little bit when I was growing up. I ended up leaving my home to go move in with my husband. And within a year or so after we got together, I got pregnant with my oldest. It was hard because at that time we didn't have a place of our own still. We were living with my mother in law and his siblings. We were only depending on my husband's income and his job, they pay good, but it's not always a stable job. He worked as much as he could to provide for us. My youngest, my 2-year-old, she has Down syndrome. My two oldest kids do go to school, so I stay home with my two little ones. But it could be a crazy day because, having two kids almost the same age is really tough. And especially having a kid with special needs is a little bit more tough, more appointments, therapies. I had to be on track of all of that and still manage to do what I have to do here at home. Having children and being so young, it's like, you know, people look at you and they're like, you're not going to make it. You struggle all the time and stuff like that. And it's like, it's scary to feel like one day I have a home and then the next day I don't know if I'm going to have one. We ended up finding a place, another apartment, and there the rent when we first moved in, it wasn't expensive. They started raising my rent up, which we didn't understand why. So because of that, we stayed behind a lot. It was really stressful. I believe it was the day before New Year's. My mother-in-law passed away, and my husband, from him grieving and stuff like that, he didn't go to work. He missed a lot of work, and I wasn't gonna sit here and I wasn't gonna poke at him. He needed his space. And there was a little problem, little situation that happened. It cost us to lose our apartment. I had so many mixed emotions. I was still grieving myself. And for us to have lost our home due to a situation that we didn't cause, it was heartbreaking and it did hurt because it's my children that were losing their home as well. And they didn't deserve that. And honestly, I think that's when we hit rock bottom because we couldn't get into another apartment due to us owing different fees at the old apartment we were at. So we ended up staying with my parents, and it's a crowded house. It really is. We were staying in the living room, and there's nothing private at all. Seeing people walking in and out, in and out. They had to be quiet by a certain time because my parents go to work. My little brother goes to school still. So they really couldn't be loud. It was hard because, I mean, they're kids. So in that whole situation, I got in contact with Hannah, which was my caseworker from DCT. I found out about the direct transfers program and how they didn't require anything or they didn't need receipts or anything like that. I was mind blown. I didn't believe it. And I kept asking my caseworker, like, really? I was like, if I can get the help, I'm in desperate need. And I was like, my goodness. I found a solution. One thing that I like is that they don't give you the money right away. They wait until you're able to find a place. After I contact my caseworker and I told her, like, hey, I found a place. She was like, okay, perfect. Are you able to get in? And she asked me how much everything was in total. I gave her the amount. She was like, okay, your card is ready whenever you're ready to come pick it up. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God. I literally cried on my way over there. It was a cry of relief. I was happy telling my kids, like, hey, like, we got a house. It's not a mansion or anything, but it's better than nothing and it's better than where we're at. They were excited. Just seeing their faces brought so much joy into mine. And as soon as we did all that, we still had like a little bit of money left. My youngest needed a crib because when we were taking that out from the other apartment, it broke. We got some groceries. I got, pans, pots, stuff that we needed. I also got stuff like toilet paper, shampoos, conditioners, and stuff like that. That's really where everything else went. That little help, it really brought so much more like vision of the future just because it's something that from now on I don't have to worry about. It opened a lot of doors and opportunities for us. I used to feel Like, I wasn't much help to my husband. Seeing him struggle and stuff like that, it hurt, and I felt like maybe he deserved better. Maybe he deserved to be with somebody who's able to help him. I would bring myself down a lot. After I started finding, different programs and trying to find a way to provide for my family and to help my husband. But I was proud of myself because I was able to do it without anybody's help. Finding the program, it made me realize, like, not to sit there and not to be so hard on myself. My husband's got a job. It's been good so far, and I pray it stays like this. And eventually we want to get land. I see like a little barn, with like animals, and it's just gonna be like country type of theme that I've envisioned. I see it. I see us just sitting on the porch, just watching our kids playing outside, being kids. I'm excited. I really am, because at that point we'll be able to sit there and prove everybody wrong. That just because we're young and we have kids doesn't mean we're not gonna get anywhere. It might have took a little help from the direct cash transfer program to get us where we are, and I'm grateful for that.